Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome to ASMR World. Sorry for the late start. Technical difficulties, but we're ready to rock and roll. I've never done ASMR before. I don't even really like listening to ASMR all that much. So, for all of you ASMR enthusiasts out there, I don't know how much you're gonna enjoy this, but I'm really excited. So, I'll let you know that stream is gonna be a little bit different from usual, primarily of which because I'm whispering, because of the ASMR. But also, I'm gonna let you know that the alerts and stuff are all turned off because I didn't want them to interrupt the story. So yeah, I guess theoretically that means if you wanted to secretly, like on the down low, donate money to me or anything, now's your chance. But yeah, so I'm excited. Let's get this story happening, get it on the road. So feel free to close your eyes and just enjoy the story time adventures of getting your hair cut. Okay, so let's begin. So, you need a haircut. I'm sorry, I was so distracted by the alert that I've never seen before up there. Oh, no, we're not reading Mr. Hippo's story. Let's begin. We're getting a haircut. You need a haircut. You've decided that you need to get your hair cut. So you go to a hair salon to get it cut. You walk in and you're greeted by a quiet room. There's only one woman in it. She's the receptionist at the other side of the room. And you walk up and you say, "Hello, I'd like to get my hair cut." And she types on her computer for just a second. She says, "Okay, go ahead and wait for just one moment while we get that sorted for you." You sit down in a chair nearby. There is nobody else in the room. It's just you and the woman. She types a bit more. "Okay, we're ready for you. Come on back. Looks like it's time. This has been so swift. So often when you get your hair cut, you have to wait like 30 minutes. But not this time. This is swell." So you walk back, and she opens the door for you. There's a short hallway, only a couple of steps long, and then an identical door at the end of that hallway. You take the couple of steps and open the door to find another room waiting for you, filled with chairs. No one else is back here either. There's just one other woman waiting nearby one of the chairs. She says, "Hello, come on in." And you do. You come on in and you sit down, ready to get your hair cut. She drapes one of those big ass, heavy bullshit things across you so as to not get your hair all over your shoulders and your nice shirt. Because of course you wore your nicest shirt to get your hair cut. Why wouldn't you? She asks, "What is it you're looking for?" And you say, "The usual, please." You've never been here before. That means nothing, technically. However, she does begin to give you the usual haircut. And you close your eyes as you relish in the sound of the scissors snipping away at the top of your head. Every now and then she stops to brush your hair to one side or the other, and then continues. "Oh, oh, I'm so sorry. I think I may have cut your ear a little bit." You reach up, and you feel your ear, and you withdraw your hand to reveal that there is a little bit of blood on your fingers. You didn't feel anything, though. And she remarks on this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I, I'm surprised you can't feel that, but we'll continue cutting your hair. I'm so sorry about that. Don't worry. You won't have to pay for that. And she continues. The blood very slowly trickles down your ear. It's not gushing by any means. It's just a little nick. You can feel that the blood is already sort of coagulating. The one heavy drip has kind of stopped midway down the side of your chin or your cheek. And at that point it's really started to dry. No blood makes it to the mat covering your shoulders as she continues to cut your hair. She switches hands. You can't assume that that's more useful, but she continues with her left hand. This is relaxing, even with the blood now dried to your cheek. She asks, "Do you still go to school here?" "You've never gone to school here." You don't reply. She asks, "When was the last time you got your hair cut?" You can't really remember. You vaguely gesture, and she nods as if that means anything. You're fascinated by the fact that she seems to have normal scissors, not those fancy hair-cutting scissors. Yeah, these are awfully long, like for cutting paper and such. It's no wonder she got your ear. She's also going quite wantonly, haphazardly. It's like she's not starting in any one location, as if she's just cutting every hair individually, but swiftly. You kinda don't mind as long as she doesn't cut you again, though. Okay, I think we're all done. You look in the mirror. You look exactly the same. She seems to have cut around a centimeter or two off of all of your hair. You look practically unchanged. Even the brushing that she's done hasn't really affected you much. But it was still nice. You do enjoy the sound of the scissors cutting around your head, even with your ear getting cut like that. It's okay. She takes the heavy-ass drapery off your shoulders and gestures you back towards the door. She smiles, and you smile back awkwardly before heading to the door. You open it to that short hallway and take the couple of steps it takes to then open the other identical door back to the receptionist area. The receptionist is still behind the desk. There is another person here as well now. It's another lady who is on her phone. She seems to be reading something. You go to the receptionist and say, "All right, I've gotten my hair cut. How do I look?" The receptionist looks at you and smiles and says, "Great." Okay. That pause was a little awkward for you, but you don't mind. You'd like to pay for that haircut now. It's gonna be like $60, which is ludicrous. You look the same, but that's just how it is. You didn't even get a shampoo or conditioning. She just cut your hair, and it will be $60. The receptionist tells you to have a seat as she gets everything ready for you to pay for your haircut. You sit down right next to the lady, who's also waiting, reading on her phone. There are many chairs you could have sat in, but you chose to sit right next to the only other person in the entire room. You realize that the woman has started to text, You look at her phone and you realize that she's already written a veritable essay of a text. Whoever she's texting to has really messed up, it seems. She doesn't look outwardly angry, but you can tell by the frequency of her nails against her phone that something is up. She is not happy, and she continues to text out whatever horrid rant she has against the other person on the other line. And you silently look away, not wanting to be intrusive, and just wait for the receptionist to call you up. You glance back at the woman. You're impressed at how rarely she makes spelling mistakes, for how quickly she's typing. Clearly this isn't the first time she's texted like this to somebody. A part of you wants to look at what she's saying, but you don't want to be rude. That would be intrusive. You do, however, glance up at her face. It's stone cold, practically no emotion. If it weren't for the frequency of how quickly she was texting her companion, you wouldn't even think there was anything wrong. Oh, fuck it. You decide to take one little glance at what she's typing. Just one quick glance. It's hard since she's typing so quickly, and the text bubble is moving upwards as she goes. However, you get the glimpse of one word. Afraid. Uh-oh. That probably wasn't a good word to glance at. You look away again, and just try to stay focused on not just openly watching her phone. Oh, it seems she's done. You look back. Yes, the text she has sent was so long that it goes well off the page. You couldn't have read the whole thing if you wanted to. The other person is already typing back. You can see the small little 3 dots going as they text their reply out to her. You wonder how long it'll take for her to get their response. The answer comes quickly. It's nearly immediate. The response to her essay is 1 letter. K. Oh. Uh-oh. That's probably not good. You look at the lady. Her stone-cold face has shifted to be excruciatingly furious. Openly, her eyes are seething with rage. She seems to be shaking visibly. Oh no. You wish you hadn't sat right next to her. A part of you wonders what's taking so long with the receptionist. What are you waiting for? There's nobody else that she's typing anything for. Seemingly, you were told to wait just because the receptionist didn't want to right now. You look back at the receptionist for a second, who is uninterested in paying either of you any attention. You return your gaze to the woman next to you, and you find it fascinating. She's shaking so much, and you realize she started to sweat profusely as well. She's sweating, and actually it's not even sweat. It's worse than that. She's melting, actively liquefying. You look down to her shoes to see that her ankles are pooling within them as she becomes literally liquid, seemingly out of rage. You shift in your seat so as to not get any of her melting body on you, and you watch as she just becomes goo, like a candle put in a microwave, like wax dripping down. Her furious face slides as her shoulders slump, and her whole mass becomes what seems at first like putty or pudding in the seat, but it continues to not just simply become gel, but truly liquefies. You can do nothing beyond just simply watch as this woman became so angry that she dropped her phone as she became physical liquid. There's now a colorful puddle across the floor in front of you where her shoes used to lay. The seat next to you has also become wet, dripping with the colors of the woman. The back of the seat has streaks across it as it begins to swiftly dry from her liquefaction. You look back to her phone, the only part of her that did not succumb to the liquefaction. You see another speech bubble typing. The other person, they're responding again. Uh-oh. Hopefully it fixes her this time. A couple of moments. And then just 3 letters. LOL. Oh, that probably will not help her. You look down at what was once the woman next to you, but is now a puddle across the floor. You can almost see the features of her still there. Her angry face somehow shines through the puddles. It makes you uncomfortable, and so you stand up and make your way back to the front desk, careful not to slip and slide on the woman's liquid body. "Excuse me, I'd like to pay for that haircut, please," you tell the receptionist. The receptionist smiles at you and says, "Sure, give me 1 second." And she starts to type on her computer again. You did not give her your name. You didn't tell her what kind of haircut you received. She has asked no questions of you. Not your card number. Not your address. What is it that she's looking up? What has her typing so much? You would think that this was a video game she was playing, if it weren't for the fact that she was clearly using significantly more letters on the keypad than just WASD. Uncomfortable, you look back. The other woman is still a puddle in the corner. Her phone is now vibrating. Uh-oh, looks like she's got a call. You're not sure if she's gonna be able to pick it up, though. You turn back to the receptionist, still typing. Nothing on earth would ever necessitate her typing this much. You're confused. What is it that she's even looking for? Why isn't she using the mouse at all? She's just typing. You look back again. The woman is still a puddle. Her phone has stopped vibrating. She is spreading across the floor slowly, though, like a thicker liquid, like milk. You don't like this. You don't like being in the room with the puddle woman. You decide to head back towards the hair cutter, to the lady who physically cut your hair. Perhaps she can help the woman at the receptionist counter find whatever it is that has her typing so much. You open the door to the short hallway. It's just a couple of steps to the next door. You open the other door, and you open it to find another short hallway, only a couple of steps long. Was that always there? You take the couple of steps down the short hallway, and you open the door to find another short hallway, only a couple of steps long. You turn backwards. The doors are open behind you, creating a longer hallway, interrupted by door frames. Maybe you should go back. Perhaps this wasn't the right door. Maybe this is for employees only. You head back a handful of steps, and open the first door to find another short hallway only a couple of steps long. Huh? You try again. Maybe you had simply closed one when you didn't notice. You open the door to find a short hallway only a couple of steps long. You look back. The hallway seems significantly longer now. Maybe this wasn't the right way. Maybe you had gotten turned around. You walk down through the multiple doorways down the hallway and open a door to find a short hallway only a couple of steps long. You open the next door to find a short hallway only a couple of steps long. You turn back. The hallway seems quite long now. You really can't remember which door it was that you had started with. What direction did the doors open? You can't remember. Were they always on your left-hand side or on your right-hand side? You decide to continue forward in this direction. Surely eventually you will either make it to the hairdresser or the receptionist. You move forward and you open the door to find a short hallway only a couple of steps long. You take those few steps to open the next door to find a short hallway only a couple of steps long. You continue forward, going through doors and hallways, only a couple of steps long each time. But by this point, surely you've walked significantly further than the hairdresser's was long. You look back. It seems like it was forever away ago. How long have you been walking? Surely not that long. Perhaps you ought to try going back again. Maybe you simply missed one door, and going forward in this direction isn't the right choice. Maybe you've entered some other building, and this is some off-limits area, some location where perhaps residents live, and you go down enough hallways and you'll make your way to another receptionist. Which way should you go? You decide to go back again. You walk all the way back down, through a doorway, a doorway, a doorway, a doorway, a doorway, a doorway, your footsteps clicking on the tiles, and finally you make it back to the other end of the hallway. You open the door to find another short hallway, only a couple steps long. One more time, let's try this direction. You open the door to find another short hallway, only a couple of steps long. You turn around. You seem to have felt like you made more progress going in the other direction, but which way is forward? If you keep going in one way, you will get somewhere, surely. You can't keep going back and forth, but you had started somewhere. Where was your starting point? What door was the first door that you walked through? You can't remember. They're all the same. Every hallway is exactly the same, creating one extra long hallway with unnecessary steps of opening doors. You open the door again to find another short hallway, only a couple of steps long. You decide to go back to the other side. You walk back down the long, long hallway, doorway, 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 doorway. Every couple of steps long hallway, interrupted by a doorway. You feel your feet clump, clump, clump on the carpet as you finally make it back to the other side. You open the door to find another hallway, only a couple of steps long. You start to go quicker. A doorway, a hallway, a doorway, a hallway, a doorway, a hallway. You turn back. The distant door, all the way on the other side, looks so dark now. They're all illuminated with the same gross indoor lighting that you can find in so many stores and restaurants. But how is it so dark over there? Maybe that's the right way. Maybe the receptionist had turned off her light and had turned off her computers. You go back, clump, 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 doorway, doorway, hallway, doorway, doorway, hallway, hallway, doorway, hallway, doorway, clump, 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 as your feet go against the carpet and you open the door to find another short hallway, only a couple steps long. You keep going, clump, clump, swoosh, swoosh, clump, clump, hallway, door, swoosh, wait, swoosh. You look down. Wasn't there tile before? But no. The floor is now thick with what you think is a carpet. Why would there be a carpet? In a hairdresser's, that's inefficient. You must keep it tile so you can sweep everything. It was tile before, wasn't it? Surely you remember the clicking of your heels on a tile floor. When did it become carpet? You go back. Was a tile back there? Clump, clump, clump through doorways and hallways and doorways and hallways, clump, 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 until you make it to the other door. You open the door to find another short hallway, only a couple steps long. You look down to realize that the carpet is getting thicker, but it's not because of fur or material. Your feet are starting to squish as if the carpet was wet. That's weird. Perhaps there's been a leak. What direction is the leak coming from? You open the door next to you to find a short hallway, only a couple steps long. You open the next door to find another short hallway, only a couple steps long. The water level is rising. This must be the direction to the leak, correct? That means you're heading towards the hairdresser. If you turn around, perhaps you can find the receptionist. You start running down the hallway, clump, 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 as you make it to the final door, and you open it to find another short hallway, only a couple steps long. The water level is still rising. It doesn't seem to matter which end of this long, long hallway you stand at, the water level is the same. You look down to look at the multiple different colors of the water swirling around your feet as it now begins to truly rise. It's not just squishing in the carpet. You have to sploosh your feet through the water as it continues to get up higher and higher. Why is it so colorful? Why are there so many colors in the water? Is this paint? Is this makeup? Is this makeup? That thought crosses your mind as you remember the woman in the waiting room who had become liquid next to you, and you realize it's her. The floor is flooding with the liquefied woman, furious from her text. As you look closer, you think you can even see her eyes still piercing up at you from below. Furious, angry, the most unhinged anger you've ever seen, but it's so vague. It's as if the colors themselves are angry, like you can only sort of see the eyes, like some sort of Rorschach test of liquid. You're starting to get frightened, and you continue to run through the liquid back to the other side of the hallway. Running is getting harder. As the water level rises, as the level of the liquefied woman rises, you are encumbered. Your legs are wet. Your socks are wet. Your shoes are wet. Your pants are wet. And as you continue forward, the water impedes your progress. You finally make it to the other side of the hallway. This long, long hallway. You look back. It's so dark in every direction. How far have you walked? How long have you been here? When can you just fucking pay for your haircut? It looks the same anyway. You continue moving forward through doorways and hallways and doorways and hallways, certain that surely that next one must be the final one. Surely eventually you must finally make it to the end. Running is getting harder. You cannot keep this up. The water level is to your knees and still rising. The liquefied woman everywhere around you as the colors of her makeup and her clothes swirl eternally around you. Where can you get your fucking haircut paid for? And where could you even just leave? You feel something trickling down the side of your face. Is the woman liquefying from the ceiling? You look up to see that the ceiling is still dry. No? So you touch your face. And remember, that's right, you had gotten your ear cut. That was the most substantial cutting that had happened during your hair. You stop. And feel the blood continue to slide down your face. You must have opened the wound in your panic of trying to get through the doors. How much are you going to bleed? What happens if the blood touches the liquefied woman? Will she taste your blood? Will she assimilate with it? Will nothing happen? The idea of anything happening frightens you, so you cover your ear with your own hand to try to stop the blood from progressing any further. You don't want your blood to interact with this water for some reason, even though, theoretically, nothing should happen beyond you simply dirtying the liquefied lady's puddle, if you could even call it a puddle anymore. Perhaps a river would be more accurate at this point. You continue to try to push forward, opening doors to hallways and doors to hallways, but as you continue and the water continues to rise, it is now to your waist. Opening the doors is becoming a bigger and bigger challenge as the water pressure on the other side stops you from moving forward. You don't even know if you can get out at this point. Every door is immensely heavy, and your weight itself is becoming too much to bear as you trudge through this thick water. Remember, she was a thick liquid like milk, and you're trying to progress through that. It feels like oobleck pulling on you. A constant liquid, except for where you apply pressure, it turns solid. Where can you pay for your haircut? All you wanted was to relax and listen to the sound of some scissors. You wanted to pay for your haircut so badly. You enjoyed the sound of the woman texting and the other woman typing on her computer, but this is too much. You need to get out of the hallways. Where can they stop? You bang on the side of a wall. Nothing happens. The walls are all pale and solid. You try to apply your pressure to it, but nothing happens. They are existing and staying so strong despite all the water continuing to fill the hallways. You're starting to panic. You can swim well enough, but stuck in here, you will surely drown if the water continues to rise too high. There are no furniture for you to stand on to try to get your bearings. It's simply the floor, the walls, and the water of the furious woman who had turned to liquid in the other room. You stop, still holding your ear. You don't know what to do. You think all I wanted was to get my hair cut, and then you think you hear something behind you. You turn and look down the long, long hallway. It's so long now. The idea of simply walking down such a hallway would be tiring, but to do it with all this water around is far too much. Surely there's nowhere left for you to go. Perhaps you could simply close a door and hide and hope that the water stops. And you turn around again to the door in front of you. Can you open it? You jiggle the handle. It is loose. It's openable. It's not locked. But the pressure on the other side fights against you so furiously. You look back down the long, long hallway. Surely if this door opens outward, then the one on the far, far side of the hallway opens inward. Would that be easier to open? To fight against the water near you rather than on the other side of the door? You think it can't hurt to try, and what else are you going to do? So you start to trudge all the way back down, slowly making your way through. The water is above your waist now, approaching your chest. It would be nearly relaxing if it weren't for the fact that 1, you were trapped in a hallway, and 2, that this was not water, but a woman who had turned to liquid due to anger. The idea still kind of confuses you, but you don't question it. And you stop halfway through your journey. You're tired. Your limbs are tired. Your lungs are tired. You are breathing heavy, and you cannot continue forward easily. You think, surely I can take my time, right? You're in the middle of the hallway. You turn back around, and again forward. Both ways look the same. Which way had you started? Where were you trying to go? Surely the receptionist must be somewhere. Surely the woman who cut your hair must be somewhere. Surely the woman who turned to liquid will calm down and stop flooding the hallway, correct? You turn back around, and you turn back around again, and you start to move forward. And then you hear something behind you.